Once a man named Daedalus lived in Athens, the Greek city whose protector was Athena, the goddess of wisdom. One day, Daedalus was making a statue of Athena, and the goddess liked it so much, she decided to give him special powers. Thanks to her, he became Athens' top inventor and builder. Everyone admired his cleverness at making gadgets and his ability to solve problems that had baffled people for years, even ages. The king of Athens at the time counted on Daedalus for advice about new buildings and special projects.
But it wasn't enough for Daedalus to be the greatest inventor in Athens. He wanted to be the only inventor in Athens. He couldn't stand anyone else getting recognition. The great inventor even became worried that his son nephew, his apprentice, would steal some of his glory.
In Athens, Daedalus' reputation as a wise man and clever inventor was growing. He took a prize from others, especially his family members.
Who would have thought it? I hate to admit it. After all those fun we had as kids, but my own brother is a genius.
Sister, you look like you had something that didn't agree with you.
No, brother, it's not my lunch. Just remember that mother always told you, and that it's gonna sharpen your brain like a pencil. Some people get all the lump.
Now, don't get upset. Just because I'm famous and you're not. My ideas will help our whole city. And if I can ever do you a favor, please let me know.
I was hoping you'd say that. My son, Daedalus, loves to build things around the house. He built a dollhouse that is so comfortable the dog refuses to come out. Then he made a mousetrap that's so attractive. Mice have been lining it up to try it out. Please, take him as your apprentice. Teach him something useful and keep him out of my hair.
I don't really need anyone right now.
He works for free. You must need someone to clean up around here. Someone to take off the garbage? Surely Athena didn't give you special talent for that.
Alright. Having a kid like him will allow me more time for my important work. He can start tomorrow, but he must remember, I'm very busy with very important people, so he needs to stay out of my way.
So Daedalus, a youth about 12 years old, came to stay with his uncle Daedalus. At first, he quietly went about his course in the inventor shop. He cleaned up the tools, washed all the dishes, and took out the rubbish.
One day, an Athenian came to the shop to ask Daedalus' help. Daedalus was sweeping up in the corner.
Hello, Daedalus, my friend. How are you?
Good.
So, I need a tool that can cut through wood neatly and quickly. Chopping wood with an axe is too messy and takes too long. Can you help?
Maybe if you use a bigger axe or a spear. Let me think about it. Come back in a day or two and I have something for you.
Okay. See you.
Uncle! Look at this one I made. It's a block for a tool and for a saw. It cuts through wood more easily than an axe.
How does it work?
See these sharp parts here that look like this? They cut through the wood when you move the teeth back and forth across the wood. I came up with the idea one day when I was emptying the garbage. I see a fish skeleton and it made me think.
Did I tell you not to store my thinking? Give me that silly drawing and go back to your chores.
But Daedalus didn't throw away that silly drawing. He used Daedalus' idea to make a saw out of metal. Then he gave it to the carpenter.
How did you think of this? This saw, as you call it?
Oh, it just came to me one night when I was taking out the garbage.
You really are clever, Daedalus. Thank you so much.
Daedalus took the all credit, but Daedalus wasn't discouraged. He felt that someday his uncle would recognize his talent.
Look at what I made, Uncle. I call it a compass. You can use to draw perfect diagrams and measure things exactly.
Give me that and stop fooling around. You've got work to do. Come on, back. I have to do something about this boy before I became the second best inventor in Athens.
That night, Daedalus couldn't sleep. He was so angry and jealous. But finally, he thought of a plan that made him feel better. he decided to call Daedalus.
Daedalus! Daedalus! Daedalus, I was too harsh with you today. Forgive me. I'd like you to help me on a project. It's very important on top of Athena's temple. I could use your advice.
Wow, that's really great, but why right now in the middle of the night when it's so dark?
This shouldn't take long. Come on.
When they got to the roof of the temple, Daedalus carried out his evil plot.
I've been asked to win the statue for that side of the tower. Lean over the edge and tell me if you think it's possible.
Well, it sure looks dangerous, but if you say so.
As Daedalus leaned over, Daedalus gave him a swift push, sent the youth hurling toward the paving stones. But before he hit the ground, he flapped his arms and miraculously began to move skyward.
You see, Athena had watched the plot unfold and stepped in. In a flash, she turned Daedalus into a bird, a partridge to be exact, and so spared his life. Then, she had a few words with her former favorite.
You're a very sick man, Daedalus. I'm tempted to take back all the powers I've given you, but I won't. Instead, I'm going to banish you from Athens. You must wander through the world praying that someone will take you in. Fate will have other punishment in store for you.
Daedalus wandered about, sailing from country to country until he came to the island of Crete, where the evil king Minos was looking for a great inventor. He was hired on the spot, and he soon settled down, married, and had a son. The boy's name was Icarus, and Daedalus loved him very, very much.
Now, after years of working for Minos, Daedalus was given the job of designing the labyrinth that would house Minos' pet, the Minotaur. For those of you who don't know, the labyrinth is a maze, and the Minotaur was a powerful creature killed by an Athenian named Theseus in the story before this one. But when Theseus escaped from the labyrinth, taking Minos' son April with him, someone was going to take that hit from Minos, and that person was Daedalus.
The guards brought in Daedalus, his hands bound behind him. A few steps behind the inventor, also bound, stood his son, Icarus.
Guard, bring the inventor to me. What should I do with you? Theseus killed the Minotaur and escaped from the labyrinth. Only you could have helped him to do that. To take matters worse, he ran off with my son Adrian.
Should we execute them now, Your Highness?
No, I just thought a fit punishment. Take the inventor and his son to the center of the maze, and leave them there without food and water. We'll let the inventor be betrayed by his own invention.
I have only one request, Your Highness. My son is afraid of the dark. Can we please have a supply of candles, so at least his last hours will be a little less frightening?
Very well. Give him the candles. That way you'll be able to see each other storm.
Father, what will we do? I'm already hungry. You must think of some way out of this.
I'm thinking as fast as I can, son, but even if we escape from this maze, Minos' army will catch us. If we make it to the sea, King's navy will capture our ship before we are marked from shore. You will have to be a bird to escape from Minos. That's it! Stand up, my son. We've got work to do.
What? Father, have you gone crazy?
Just listen to me. Remember those birds' calls I taught you? Use them now. Call down as many birds as you can. Quickly.
Icarus made sounds that imitated the calls of blackbirds, seagulls, and other birds. Hearing the calls, the birds swooped down toward the inventor and his son in the maze. The two quickly snatched as many feathers as they could. The lucky birds lost only a few feathers each.
Now, if we use the wax from the candle to hold the feathers like this.
Father, please tell me what you're making.
I'm making wings. With these feathers and wax, I'm making wings that will carry us out of this maze and away from this island. Minos may control the land or the sea, but he doesn't rule the sky. We fly away.
In just a day, Daedalus made sets of wings for himself and his son. Then, they practiced with the wings until they knew they could fly.
Then I will give you the wings. Before we go, pay attention to my words, Icarus. Stay close behind me. Do you hear me? Don't fly too low, or the spray from the sea will wet your wings and pull you down. But don't fly too high either. If you fly too high, the wax that keeps the wings together will melt and you'll fall into the sea.
Father, I promise I'll obey you.
The two set out at the break of day, flop above the walls of the labyrinth, and out over Minos' kingdom. The people below didn't know what to think about what they saw in the early morning sky.
That's the strangest pair of birds I even see.
No, it must be two gods visiting Earth.
I think I better go back home.
Once they were away from Minos Island, Daedalus and his son whooped and shouted,
We're free as birds!
Just remember what I told you. Be careful.
It feels great to fly, gliding and soaring. Look how high I can go.
This is not time to falling around, son. Stay close behind me. We got to get to land as soon as we can.
It feels great to fly after being that cold labyrinth. The sun feels so good.
When his father back was turned, Icarus spread his wings and fly as high as he could. He felt the rays of the sun warming his body. He let the currents of air take him even higher, just like the tide will carry sometimes a swimmer deeper and deeper.
but something began to go terribly wrong. Icarus' wings began to get heavier and heavier. He started to feel melting wax warming his arms. When the boy turned around to look to see what was happening, he saw a feather drop from his wings, and now he remembered what his father had said.
Oh no, Father, help me!
But the boy was far behind, and his voice couldn't reach his father's ears.
Before long, hundreds of feathers were falling from his wings, and Icarus was dropping fast to the blue sea below.
Flying ahead, Daedalus was lost in thought.
Now, if I could build wings for an entire army, that would be something. Icarus, how long do you think it will take me to...
Turning around, he saw that he was alone in the beautiful cloudless sky. His heart pounded as he circled back, then saw what he fears most: Icarus, floating lifeless in the sea.
Ícaro!
Daedalus landed on the third island he saw, and convinced the fishermen there to bring back the body of his son. He buried Icarus on that island.
Once he said goodbye to his son, he noticed a bird sitting on a branch of the tree overlooking the grave. It was a partridge, the kind of bird Daedalus had become when Daedalus pushed him off the temple of Athena so many years before. At last, Daedalus understood how wrong and cruel that plan had been, after his own son's life had been taken away from him.
For the rest of his life, it is said, Daedalus lived quietly on the island of Sicily, making toys for the children there. He easily could have won fame and fortune if he had built on his flying ideas. But the death of his son caused inventor to hang up his wings and his desire for fame forever.